Some Christians often claim the Qur'an confirms the Bible. They cite Qur'an chapter 7 verse 157 and Qur'an chapter 10 verse 94 among other verses as evidence. Let's examine the verses.
الذين يتبعون الرسول النبي الأمي الذي يجدونه مكتوبا عندهم في التوراة والإنجيل يأمرون بالمعروف وينهاهم عن المنكر ويحل لهم الطيبات ويحرم عليهم الخبائث ويضع عنهم إصرهم والأغلال التي كانت عليهم فالذين آمنوا به وعزروه ونصروه واتبعوا النور الذي أنزل معه أولئك هم المفلحون.
Those who follow the messenger, the unlettered prophet, whom they find written in what they have of the Torah and the Gospel, who enjoins upon them what is right and forbids them what is wrong, and makes lawful for them the good things and prohibits for them the evil, and relieves them of their burden and the shackles which were upon them. So they who have believed in him, honored him, supported him, and followed the light which was sent down with him, it is those who will be the successful. As you can see, the Qur'an refers to Torah and Injil, or Gospel. The Torah refers to the first 5 books of the Hebrew Bible, or the Old Testament. These are Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy. The Judeo-Christian claim is that these 5 books were written by Moses. When we analyze this claim, we find this could not have been the case. Some of the reasons for this conclusion include: the Torah was dictated by God to Moses as commands, law. Yet these books are written as biographies on the life of Moses. If Moses had written these books, how do we explain him writing the following? And Moses the servant of the Lord died there in Moab, as the Lord had said. He buried him in Moab, in the valley opposite Beth Peor, but to this day no one knows where his grave is. Moses was 120 years old when he died, yet his eyes were not weak nor his strength gone. As we can see, those verses are examples of verses which could not have been written by Moses. These books are also written in the third-person format. The other Quranic verse we mentioned earlier among the ones Christians used to claim the Qur'an confirms the Torah and Injil is the following.
فإن كنت في شك مما أنزلنا إليك فاسأل الذين يقرؤون الكتاب من قبلك لقد جاءك الحق من ربك فلا تكونن من الممترين.
So if you are in doubt, O Mohammed, about that which we have revealed to you, then ask those who have been reading the scripture before you. The truth has certainly come to you from your Lord, so never be among the doubters. Contrary to what Christians claim, this verse was not referring the Prophet Muhammad to read the Bible. Always remember that it is quite important to seek knowledge from reputable scholars and take that for which there is a consensus among them. There is a consensus among the scholars that whenever the Qur'an addresses the Prophet Muhammad in a manner which does not apply to a prophet of God, it is actually an address to the masses through the prophet. For example, once a prophet of God has been shown the proof from God he had been chosen, then he would not doubt any revelation given to him by God. Similarly, in this verse, others are addressed through the prophet. It is informing them in case of any doubt about what was revealed to the prophet. Then they are to ask the scholars and people with knowledge of previous revelations. Then they would get confirmation from the more knowledgeable among them of things such as the methodology of revelation, the content, and even his name from the most honest among them, as the first verse stated about the prophet's name in the previous scriptures. Some scholars even named individuals that were asked. Imam at-Tabari, may Allah have mercy on his soul, narrated from Yunus, who narrated from Ibn Wahb, who narrated from Ibn Zayd, that one such person was Abdullah ibn Salam, may Allah be pleased with all the companions. Abdullah ibn Salam, may Allah be pleased with him, was a well-respected Torah scholar and a Jewish rabbi, who after recognizing the signs of prophethood in Muhammad through his knowledge of his scriptures, became a Muslim. There is also another opinion based on one of the other definitions of the word shak used in the verse. The word shak can also mean kolak. Let's look at some definitions of kolak relevant to our verse. We can see the relevant definitions based on what we know of the background. So using this other definition of the word used in the verse, it will read, O Muhammad, if you are extremely sad, hurt, concerned and tight-chested from anxiety, from worrying that your people do not believe what we have revealed to you, then ask those who are knowledgeable from the people of the book about previous prophets whose people did the same, and what the prophets went through with them. The Prophet Muhammad was sent to the entire world of human and jinn. From the narrations we have, he used to stay up in prayers hours on end in the early hours to ask Allah to forgive and guide people. Obviously people have free will, and knowing what he knew about Allah, he was extremely sad. People chose to disbelieve. Not only is this second view of the verse supported by one of the definitions of the word used in the verse, but the Qur'an advising the Prophet regarding this also gives credence to it. Let's look at 2 examples from the Qur'an.
فَلَعَلَّكَ بَاخِعٌ نَفْسَكَ عَلَى آثَارِهِمْ إِن لَّمْ يُؤْمِنُوا بِهَذَا الْحَدِيثِ أَسَفًا.
Then perhaps you would kill yourself through grief over them, O Muhammad, if they do not believe in this message, and out of sorrow. And
لَعَلَّكَ بَاخِعٌ نَفْسَكَ أَلَّا يَكُونُوا مُؤْمِنِينَ.
perhaps, O Muhammad, you would kill yourself with grief that they will not be believers. The Prophet that was sent as a mercy to all, who some people mock, insult and vilify, was so consumed with worry for the disbelievers that his Lord warned him he was harming himself. We hope we have clarified what the Qur'an meant when it referred to the Torah and Injil. On a final note, the Qur'an refers to Injil, gospel in singular form, and not gospels. The Bible does the same. For example, Jesus came into Galilee, preaching the gospel of God. And then he went throughout Galilee, teaching in their synagogues, proclaiming the gospel of the kingdom. There are more examples. Jesus never saw the Gospels of Mark, Matthew, Luke, or John. These are Gospels about Jesus, which came decades after him. Instead, he went around preaching the gospel of God, revealed directly to him by the one who sent him.